Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be story time. A little story time at H.A. Goodman's main channel. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel. The link is below. We're going to start off really quickly before we get to the Washington Post basically endorsing Madam Secretary because she's such a wonderful person. In fact, she's suffered so much for us. She's like a deity. She has suffered so much for our sins, and it's just been so horrible how the media has really done a number on the Clintons. Really unfair. CO2 emissions fell in U.S. carbon dioxide emissions fell in 2019 to its lowest point. Since the 90s, since the early 90s. Okay? Lower than at any point during President Obama's administration. Why am I bringing this up? This is a fact. I'm looking at the chart right here. This is during the Trump administration. And we're going to get to Clinton in a second. But the biggest issue you hear is, oh, well, I care about climate change. Well, carbon emissions went down lower in 2019 than at any other point. Christopher! To my super chat, thank you very, very much. You help me. You give me every incentive. The only incentive to do, every incentive to do these live streams. They're really fun, and they're awesome. And Christopher, thank you. We'll oh, my goodness. I don't think I can talk about that on this channel or any channel. Maybe H.A. Badman's other channel, but I don't think that's going to be a big issue because everybody's known for a long time, and it didn't stop my wife then. So, it's full steam ahead. Christopher! Thank you, Christopher. Thank you. Thank you, Christopher. And Eric H526, Luke St. Martin, thank you very much. But I have to go ahead and why am I bringing this up? We have 11 years before the beginning of the end of the planet. Only 11 years left to prevent irreversible damage from climate change. UN. Okay, the duplicity of the Democratic Party. This is a Vox article. The House just passed its first climate bill in a decade. So they didn't have the House for a good part of the decade, but when they did have the House, the rhetoric, the fanatical, alarmist, hysterical rhetoric, and doomsday scenarios really didn't really get Democrats to pass some kind of major climate change legislation. They waited until 2019, people. That's how important it is to them. As with every issue, believe when it comes to Kavanaugh. Don't believe when it comes to Tara Reade. Oh my God, interference is horrible. Russian interference, but only they literally purchased a dossier compiled by Russian intelligence officials. So let's just listen to this right here. This is story time. Story time with H.A. Goodman. Hillary's running, people. She's running. But why do I bring this really quickly? It's just the height of duplicity, the height of hypocrisy. The world's going to end, essentially. The beginning of the end is about 11 years away. They have one climate bill in 11 years, and under Trump, who got us out of the Paris Accords, we have our lowest carbon emissions in 2019. I see you're gonna say this isn't President Trump's administration in 2019, going into 2020, and in 2020 it's probably gonna be lower because of the pandemic. So anyway, how dare you if you blame Trump for the climate catastrophe? Anyway, let's listen to this. Hillary Clinton, America's scapegoat, July 31st, 2020. So why is this taking place? Because they're not going to allow Weekend at Biden's to debate Trump President Trump would be like a great white shark. President Trump would be like a great white shark against a guppy with Biden. So the climate change issue is complete hypocrisy. They talk and talk and talk. They don't pass any major legislation. And in 10 years, the House just passed its first climate bill in a decade. Well, does that match up to, we have 11 years? Does that match up to only 11 years to prevent irreversible damage? Are they gonna go work overtime and pass yet another bill in 10 years? Maybe 2 bills in 10 years? They don't care about these issues. Voice of Reason! For 4 years enjoying your channel. Thank you, Mr. Bev. Thank you, Miss Voice of Reason. Thank you. And to my viewers who've been watching for so long, Voice of Reason, thank you so very much. Dustin, hello. Thank you so much, Voice of Reason. Yan Sun Long, hello. Voice of Reason, your generosity is greatly appreciated. Thank you for watching for 4 years. That's a lot of my annoying personality, and it's going to get even better. When Biden, you know what? Who knows? Maybe he's going to accept the nomination, and then as he's accepting it, he accepts it on behalf of Hillary Clinton, who will then be nominee, and she's waiting right behind him. But this guy, we'll get to that in a second. Voice of Reason, thank you so very much. J-Man. Oh, I know. I can't address that. Protesting, I don't know if it causes, I don't know if we should limit that. But, baseball games, your work, 30 million unemployed, definitely, don't let people work. Voice of Reason! Thank you, Voice of Reason. Thank you, Voice of Reason. Thank you. Yan Sun Long, hello, yes. Disco Don! H.A., if we don't go up in a huge ball of flame due to climate change, what is your personal thoughts? I think that he's a performance artist, first and foremost. He's a performance artist that, I would say this. He's a performance artist, very much like Roger Stone, that focused on an issue that he shouldn't have focused on that did him in. But I would say that he's a performance artist. And I would say that a performance artist can be enjoyable or not enjoyable, depending on how you filter the information, or depending on which topic you decide to take a moment and listen to. But I would say primarily he's a performance artist, and that's not necessarily like that. That is not an insult at all. That is stated with all due respect. He's a performance artist. I think that the left vilifies him because they truly believe that policies, or they truly believe that President Trump or conservatives are, the left believes that these types of performance artists aren't simply enjoyed because of their performance. The left believes that people worship them, or that people are consumed with whatever performance they're engaged in. That's not the case. See, it's the left that have the media pumping without evidence for 4 years that Trump worked with Russia is infinitely more dangerous to the future of the country than anything that man has done. But again, they don't care if they start a new Cold War. They don't understand the history, American history. They don't really care the ramifications. They don't care about leaving Americans in counterinsurgency conflicts where you have Russian soldiers 100, 200 miles away, even closer than that. They don't care. They, for example, they focus on Russia being an adversary because they lost the election. They lost the election, therefore Russia was an adversary, and they're embarrassed that they presided over 20% of U.S. uranium capacity. This is a fact. Even Snopes, their Bible, says that only President Obama could have vetoed the sale. So why didn't he? Nobody has ever explained this. So you can look at their own publications, the New York Times, which is what I do, the New York Times, the Washington Post, the MSNBC, CNN. You can look at their own publications and come to conclusions that many performance artists develop within their act. So, Disco Don, I hope I've addressed that. Voice of reason! Voice of reason, thank you. So, I have the crickets going in the background just because it's a story time. So, we're going to have story time right now. Hillary Clinton, this is why I'm right next to the mic right here. And I want everyone to relax. And the last things I want you to hear before you get a good night's sleep and enjoy your weekend, voice of reason, thank you again for your generosity, is the soothing sounds of why aren't I 50 points ahead? Don't worry, I'll be 50 points ahead in 2020 also. This is July 31st, 2020. This is 3 weeks or so before the Democratic nomination. The Washington Post has an article about Hillary Clinton. Clinton was in the news all throughout the past 3 weeks, whether it was on MSNBC's Joy Reid, or she was getting interviewed by Hollywood celebrities. I forgot which one. I forgot. And then it was... she was on the Hollywood Reporter, she was interviewed she had the Hulu documentary, now there's the Hulu series. This is all within the past month. She was on Howard Stern a little while back. She was on The View a little while back. She's definitely not running, or she definitely won't be the nominee. She'll be the nominee. There's fact checks every single day. Nobody asks for them, but here, fact check, fabricated quote, 4 days ago, fact check on social media, fact altered photos, So then she said the other day that Trump is not going to leave. They're going to need still Team 6 to take him out, physically, and he'll be wailing, and they'll be holding, each appendage and his arms and legs, and oh no, get him out. And then you'll have Bill Clinton, get him out of there, get him out of there. This is my domain. Yay, the Republic lives. Get that orange monster out, SEAL Team 6. That's right. He tried to leave. He tried to stay in the White House too long. But this is America. You can't do this. You're not a totalitarian, authoritarian. So, Clinton will be the nominee. I don't know how. I'm expecting during the nomination, but we'll see how inept they are. The quicker flipper, pooger upper. Contract traces will be about as effective as... quicker flipper, bigger upper, thank you. The quicker flipper, bigger upper, thank you. The voice of reason, thank you very much. So let's get into this. So, J-Man, here's another kid. J-Man, thank you. So let's just read this. And I'll read this really quickly. Hillary Clinton, America's scapegoat. July 31st, 2020, 3 weeks before Biden is supposed to be nominee, but suddenly something will take place. And, of course, we know that Madam Secretary is going to be nominee. In the introduction to this exhausting book, Michael D'Antonio raises the possibility that Hillary Clinton has achieved mythic status. He compares her to the ancient ghosts and goblins and devils who are unconscious projections of the insecurities of their creators. They are heaped with our sins and shortcomings so we can feel pure. This is what happened during everything from Whitewater to the Clinton email servers with top secret intel. It was our problem. When Comey said there was no intent, the fact that you thought somebody had intentions to use servers to hide their communication is a problem with you and me. We're the problems. The fact that you would criticize the intervention in Libya that led to the destruction and obliteration of a country, that's a problem with you, where people are being bought and sold now. When you criticize that is a problem with you. That is something inside you that motivates you to accuse somebody so pure and innocent because of the malice within you. The projection, ladies and gentlemen, is very, very, very profound. Antonio lets it go at that. And also, when Madam Secretary called young people super predators who must be brought to heel and who lack empathy, it was your problem if you interpreted that in the wrong way. A lot of things. We can go on forever. When David Plouffe, President Obama's campaign manager, said that the Clinton campaign, when they shared a photo of then candidate Obama in African attire to take advantage of the stereotypes that were being thrown around at that time in politics, it was Clinton campaign who started the birther myth. And David Plouffe stated, and I quote, "It was the most offensive and shameful fear-mongering of either side during the election." But again, that was a problem with him. Something perhaps inside him, or perhaps inside all of us. It's our problem. Antonio lets it go that, but let's it go at that. But the notion of scapegoat sacrifice deserves more thoughtful exploration. I agree. In the ancient world, it was the most profound and sacred of all rituals because the scapegoat was always guilty. It was a necessary expiation, a symbolic cleansing of society's ills. In Greek mythology, the scapegoat. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? I love it. It's working exactly the way I said. You're going to get more articles like this very soon. It was a necessary expiation, a symbolic cleansing of society's ills. In Greek mythology, the scapegoat is never wrongfully accused, but he is always magical. He has the capacity to relieve the burden of guilt from a society. This seems a basic human impulse. There is a need to consume scapegoats. So, this may be the best anthropological explanation for the demented and relentless hunting of Clinton and her husband. No, I agree. You know what? Sometimes I feel they call me Billy the Billy Goat. I feel like I was a scapegoat. All I was doing was in the Oval Office. And I was talking about ICBM missiles. And I needed a prop. And there was nothing there, and lo and behold, it was an anatomical prop. And I did my usual Cape Canaveral, and they got all upset with me. Blast off. Kaylee Smith! Projection 2020, yes, Kaylee, thank you. Thank you, Kaylee Smith, thank you. Voice of Reason, thank you. Kaylee Smith, thank you as always. I hope you're having a great evening, Kaylee, thank you. Old School Dad Man! That's right, we came, we saw. Old School Dad Man! We came, we saw, exactly. Voice of Reason, thank you again. That this may be the best anthropological explanation for the demented and relentless hunting of Clinton and her husband. I agree. What they've done to me because of my exploits within the Oval Office. When I said, for example, when I said I never had relations, I was right. What is me having relations. What is in the present tense. I mean, I can go on into it. If you speak English, you understand. Legally, I was 100% right, but they went after me. And when I pardoned Mark Rich, a fugitive, I mean, they made a big stink of it. Oh, my goodness. I mean, everything from Watergate to $10 billion raised in Haiti. They've taken everything. They've completely twisted and manipulated everything. It's unbelievable. Our souls and our hearts are so pure. And this is an anthropological explanation of the demented and relentless hunting of me and my wife. They are perfect scapegoats for the caricatured excesses of the baby boom generation. They represent the permissiveness for him, feminist for her, that terrified and entranced and tempted their opponents. That's right. That's right. When I was in the Oval Office, they were jealous. All the haters drinking the haterade. As if they wish they were me. But you'll never be me, Newt Gingrich, because you didn't have an intern. The Clintons were so stupendously guilty of more subtle failings of my generation. The solipsistic idealism and sense of entitlement, the belief that they could cut corners. Jimbo sounds like the greatest work of fiction since The Promise of Fidelity was included in the French wedding. Since The Promise of Fidelity was included in the French wedding vows. Oh, wow. Wow, Jimbo, thank you. First, last, respectfully, I hear bizarre words. They're like, what about, shlamalama ding dong? Huh? Is he speaking about that? I was like, oh my God, what are they talking about now? First, last, I don't know anything about it, and I am 100% against it. I debated Jordan Sather, and which of course it's so funny too. I debated two people I absolutely oppose, Richard Spencer and Jordan Sather, and I debated them. They have just two like absurd. One is a hate-filled ideology. One is like a message board hoax. And I defeated them both in a debate very easily, and I opposed their ideas with logic and reason, and defeated their ideas with logic and reason. And what do I get from the left? A hit piece from somebody who, it seemed like this person wrote not only 5 hit pieces on me on the left within a publication that no longer exists, but it's like any debate I had, the publication was like, AJ Goodman lost. He lost the debate. He lost. He lost because he's not a good faith debater. I'm like, what? Are you trying to defend these people? The left is like so. It's just like with Trump and if Trump said, you know what, breathing is good, they'd be like, no, and they wouldn't breathe, which would be amusing. First, last, thank you. First, last, thank you. Voice of reason. So you have, okay, let's continue. I get sidetracked with my Clinton. Okay. The Clintons were also stupendously guilty of the more subtle failings of their generation. The solipsistic idealism and sense of entitlement. The belief that they could cut corners, fly free on private planes, give speeches for fabulous sums, indulge in insider stock trades for the greater good. For the greater good? For the greater good? For whose greater good? Early on, D'Antonio produces a quote from the revered Arkansas liberal Dale Bumpers. Dale Bumpers, okay, who later defended President Clinton in his impeachment trial. Clinton ought to be most graceful, but he never is. You can never do quite enough for him and Hillary. They are the most manic-obsessed people I've ever known in my life, and perhaps even the most insensitive to everyone else's feelings. So, tell me again how Clinton's not running. Everything centers around them and their ambitions. Precisely for that reason, Billy got beat in 1980. People felt incorrectly they were being manipulated. D'Antonio produces occasional nuggets like the one throughout The Hunting of Hillary, which raised the hope of a more insightful book than the one he has produced. But his aim is simple: to lay out in detail the often lunatic Lunatic, 40-year campaign to destroy Madam Secretary. Oh my God, it's just so horrible. Every public official should have private servers with top secret intel and totally get away with intervening in a country and then causing it to become a failed state. Libya, I'm referring to, and Bush's, and voting alongside Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld. Look at the litany of successes. I mean, don't you understand? It's not the critique. It's not the pointing out the constant failures and cover-ups. It's our problem. This is why when Madam Secretary runs this year, it's going to happen, people. It is going to happen. I will be the biggest supporter. You have no idea. Although I'm voting for President Trump, but here. Okay, so Special Prosecutor Kenneth Starr, who took a weirdly salacious interest worthy of a scapegoat sacrifice in Bill Clinton's relationship with Monica Lewinsky. He lied about it. If he had told everybody, oh, that's right, I actually did have sexual relations, I'm sorry about that, then none of that would have happened. Oh, they were Rupert Murdoch and Rush Limbaugh and all the conservative fake news promoters. Oh yeah, because the liberal news promoters on MSNBC and CNN are so accurate with Trump working with Russia and Trump and the Russians wanting using Facebook ads to swing the election. There's so much evidence with that. And then there are mainstream journalists, William Safire, Michael Isikoff, and others who pasteurize the poison for public consumption. I could go on. D'Antonio certainly does. Clinton hating was and remains a lascivious phenomenon. No, actually, the phenomenon is the bizarre notion that these people shouldn't be condemned. That's the really cult-like. The issue is not going after people that didn't deserve. Like, Trump was set up. There is no evidence. The evidence literally was purchased by Clinton. The Steele dossier was literally purchased by Clinton and the DNC, so there you go. It's kind of funny. First last! Thanks for the dopamine, baby. Yeah, first last! First last! Thank you! Flying Fox Roots! Here's $2. Okay, Flying Fox Fruits, thank you. First last, thank you. Kaylee Smith, Weekend at Biden's hiding from Ukraine to define projection. Exactly. Eric H526, thank you. Exactly. I mean, it's pretty unbelievable, but let's continue here. I suppose there is value in compiling all this vile stuff. There will be the first-time voters in 2020 who weren't even born when Bill Clinton was president. And they should know where the Trumpist wing nuttery came from. The nuttery! He's nuts! You lost the election. Well, it's Russia. It's the Putin stole it. You don't think that's nuttery? No, it's from James Clapper. It says in the Steele dossier. That's not nuttery? No, it's evidence. What's nuttery? Focusing on the servers outside the United States government with top secret intel. I mean, come on. There's no evidence anything wrong happened. Okay. Trumpists. Don't you? I will love when the Trumpists win. The Trumpist. They keep on trying. They call them. At first, they call them Trumplicans. I don't even. What was that? And then Trumpists. And then it was, of course, the Trump-tards. But then it was like, what was he? They have other ones too, but it's like nobody cares. Like, Trump supporters don't care. They don't care because people grew up with. I grew up with the sticks and stones may break my bones, but bad words will never hurt me. That is something that nobody in the past 30 years has grown up with, or 20 years. Children who were born 20 years ago never grew up with that statement. But anyway, with that maxim or whatever. For the rest of those, though, there's a larger question asked in this book. In the end, what are we to make of Bill and Hillary Clinton, not just as magical scapegoats, but as public servants? I think of, she's now a deity in my mind. I think that I put her alongside all the gods and the legends, and they are not in very good standing now. Bill, Hillary by her ineffective campaign. Don't worry about that. This will all, they'll reverse course in like a second. Think about what happened with Tara Reade, ladies and gentlemen. That movement was completely run into the ground the second a Democrat was accused of something more horrendous than anything Trump has been accused of, or anything Kavanaugh was accused of. And the duplicity was on full display, and it didn't faze them at all. Robin, thanks for the show. Since HC is not an official candidate, an indictment soon would be fun. Well, I can dream. I think that thank you so much, Robin, as always. I think that when you look at what takes place, because President Trump's going to win. People say, oh, well, Hillary's not running, HA. Oh, my God, is that going to be bad for you? I'm like, why would it be bad? Then Biden loses by he'll either lose by a landslide or by such a margin that they can't recover. They can't recover. Mr. Falconlim, yes. They can't. They won't be able to recover initially. It'll be pretty unbelievable. But Robin Loggy, thank you, Robin. Thank you, Robin. But after Clinton loses again, it's going to be interesting. Successful presidents require greatness of spirit, a prevailing sense of optimism. Okay, so but was Clinton a failure? I don't think so. She was an excellent senator from New York. So this is an interest. Look what happens. This is actually a this was actually an interesting. There was one article here, one paragraph. Clinton's legacy is more complicated. D'Antonio's assessment is saintly, although he does allow that she has a temper. Oh my goodness, it was like Nolan Ryan threw that bottle of Courvoisier. They clocked it at 98. I mean, it was just throw and then crash, and I had to duck. And how many bottles can you buy? How many bottles can you throw? There was about 15 shattered Courvoisier bottles. I mean, she was throwing sliders, off-speed pitches, high fastballs, all hitting the wall, and I was just ducking, and that was crazy. But we're doing it all over again. He did not mention that it was Hillary who the Washington Post over to go through the Whitewater material, no matter how long it took, a session that might have prevented. It was a non-scandal. Everything's a non-scandal. They're so delusional. The problem with liberals is that they never look at the world from the vantage point of if the tables were turned, or if the script were flipped, or if the shoe were on the other foot. They would never allow Trump to have servers for 4 years that initially were unencrypted. Never. They would never allow this. They would never allow Pompeo to have servers for 4 years and have people actually like Brian Pagliano, whose emails are missing. They would never allow it. They would never allow President Trump to get away with destroying a country like Libya. They would never allow it. They would never allow Trump to say what Biden said. They would never allow it. Never, ever, ever allow it. They would never allow it. And the fact that they do allow, see, they don't judge by utilizing the standards through which they condemn, by which they condemn. They don't they don't judge themselves by the same standards they judge others. They don't condemn their actions by the same standards or viewpoints or maxims they utilize to condemn others. So it's believe with Kavanaugh, but don't believe Tara Reade. It's no interference with oh my God, he utilized Russians, he asked for Russia's help. Clinton literally purchased the dossier, the Steele dossier, the DNC, and Clinton literally purchased. So you got to ask yourself, ladies and gentlemen, when this goes down, It's going to be the biggest political call of all time, because I'm literally the only channel that has been not just covering this, calling. There is no way that Clinton is not going to be nominee. And she has the gravitas. She has the intelligence. I'm trying to be gracious here. She has the intelligence. She has the gravitas. She has the experience that they like, failed foreign policy, litany of failed foreign policy. But she has the experience. I say this as a Trump supporter and a former Bernie Sanders biggest Bernie booster on the internet. According to the Huffington Post, the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post, I say this: she can stand up to President Trump. I don't think she defeats Bernie or Trump in debates, but she can stand up to President Trump. She would definitely hold her own, stand up during any debate. And she could talk about Russia, the whole Mueller probe, and make it sound really scary and ominous. And Biden would be like, Mueller. This was Mueller during the probe. Page 235? What? What happened to McKinley? You don't say. Hey, what's going on? 235? Okay. Yes. Well, we didn't find any evidence, but there's always the possibility something will arise in the future. That's exactly what Mueller was like. And everyone was like, "Oh yeah, no problem." They're not going to allow Biden. Oh, come on, man. Hey, come on, man. Hey, you want to do push-ups, Trump? You want to do push-ups, man? Oh, come on, man. You want to do push-ups, man? You want to do push-ups? Huh? You want to have the same fate as cornflakes? I don't think so, man. Come on. Come on, people now. Smell on your brother. Come on. Come on, man. I mean, Trump's going to bring up Burisma as, this has been long as ever. Yeah, you were impeached over that. Right, America? Come on, man. And it would be the biggest, most lopsided victory of all time if they went with Biden. They have remote voting, people. They're voting through email. Okay, who's a master at email? Come on, fat now. Come on, fat. Hey, man, Trump now. Come on, have you ever been to a... This is one of the best lines ever. In addition to the hand gesture, the stroking hand gesture that Biden... I have to find this. Oh my God, please let me find this Biden's hand stroke gesture. It was so bizarre. Oh my God, it was so bizarre. He does this gesture, and it was like made me uncomfortable, okay? It made me uncomfortable. Barney Frank, this is in 2015. Barney Frank, Biden can't keep his mouth shut or his hands to himself. In 2015. Yeah, this was known in 2015, okay? This was known in 2015. Like, they're not pulling the wool on anyone. This is so obvious. This is so obvious. It's just so obvious that I just have to wait. They're doing this. They're also doing this to bother me. I take this as a personal affront that they're going through all of this nonsense. So, when they lose again, also, it's going to be really, really amazing. It's going to be really amazing. Just remember when they were certain that Bernie was going to win, and this is different from when I was saying it because he was cheated in 2016. He was cheated now also, but remember when let's just continue. Hold on. I have to find this. I'm like consumed now. Okay. There was this really bizarre interaction. Okay, if I see the MSNBC host, let me see. Okay, so hold on. Oh, it was with Nicole Wallace. Nicole Wallace, Joe Biden. It was this bizarre. It was such a bizarre thing. Oh, it was me. I covered it. It was me. I'm the only person that covered it. Okay, hold on. Did I put the... Oh, why did I... Biden inexplicably makes suggestive hand gestures on MSNBC with Nicole Wallace. Oh, my God. Oh, here it is. Okay, please. Washington Examiner. This is so great. Nicole... I'm not going to even do it on... Okay, it was a suggestive hand gesture. Like he was stroking, shall we say, a rod. Okay? I don't think you have to really... I mean, it was just unbelievable. I would describe the moment when Wallace stares blankly at the camera, an ear-to-ear smile spread across her face as Biden apologizes awkwardly for comparing President Trump to a yo-yo. I could also describe the moment the moment when Biden apologized. So, although it's difficult to pinpoint the worst moment in this train wreck of an interview. Oh my God. Let's just see if we can. Where is this thing? Oh, here. Okay. Let's just see if we can. He does this thing with his hand. It's so bizarre. You can't see it. But it's just the most bizarre thing. It's just the most bizarre thing you've ever seen in your life. And it's just it's so weird. Like, he does this thing where it's this stroking up and down hand gesture that, like, looks very suggestive. Very, very, like, obviously suggestive. And he does this on air. And if anyone else had done this, they would rightfully be accused of a, harassment or something, But it's Biden. They let Biden get away with anything. Do you understand? They don't care. So here, hold on one second. Let's listen to this. You'll hear the audio. It's just so great. Why did I still have to read the Clinton? Okay. So this is so great right here. Oh, great. Now it's going to buffer. Everything's not working. Nothing's working. Okay, so hold on one second here. Hold on. Let's see here. Oh, Lord. Why am I spending so much time? Because it's worth it. It's just so great. Okay, so hold on one second. Okay. Hold on here. Let's just.
This instant, so that they can pay their mortgage, they can keep if they still have heat on in their homes, they can make sure that they're in a position that they can pay their bills, that they can and students. I mean, this is look, we just went through the
tolerate discrimination.
There were folks like me and others who were calling for him to make sure that he yo-yo.
Yes. This is 3 minutes and 51 seconds. And this is 3 minutes. This is here. There's a Washington Examiner article. The link is into the Washington. It's an opinion. Nicole Wallace's interview with Joe Biden is the most embarrassing thing you'll see all week. This is by Beckett Adams, March 25th, 2020. And it's the second video in that article. It's Nicole Wallace's interview. It's 3 minutes and 51 seconds into the 8 minute and 20 second segment. Here.
I shouldn't have said it that way. It's like on his xenophobia in the past. So I just can't figure the guy. I don't know. It's like watching a yo-yo. I shouldn't have said it that way. It's like watching.
It feels that way. I want to ask you.
He's still moving his hand up and down, and then he goes, "I shouldn't have said it that way." Do you understand? This is like so hilarious. You have to watch it, but you see, he's never called on it because Nicole Wallace just laughs. I mean, if it was Trump makes suggestive hand gesture. Trump makes gestures if he's holding an erect part of a certain anatomy. Trump this, Trump that, Trump did it, Trump, oh, just impeachment from this.
It that way. It's like watching.
It feels that way. I want to ask.
I don't know. It's like watching. I just can't figure the guy. I don't know. It's like watching a yo-yo. I shouldn't have said it that way. It's like watching.
It feels that way.
Yeah, you shouldn't have, Biden. You freak.
I want to ask you. I want. That's okay.
It's this awkward. He's not. There's no way they're gonna go with this man. There's no way. Do you understand? This whole thing's a charade.
Okay, I want to ask you what happens to the Democratic.
Figure the guy. I don't know. It's like watching a yo-yo.
3 minutes and 50 seconds into this. Oh my God. So it's like they despise Trump so much. They're okay with, they really think that this man is viable. Because he's so not viable, he's so obviously not viable that they don't really get it. They don't really get that their animus, their vitriol towards Trump is not universal, and that their dislike of Trump does not equate to someone being a good candidate because they feel anyone's better than Trump. Anyone breathing is better than Trump. Just anyone breathing is better. So, oh my God. So, we'll just do this again because I know that you might not know exactly what I'm referring to, but it's like not even, I can't even talk about the YouTube guidelines because like it's just here.
I just can't figure the guy. I don't know. It's like watching a yo-yo. I shouldn't have said it that way. It's like watching.
It feels that way. I want to ask you.
What am I watching, producers? Should we cut to a commercial? I wasn't paid. I didn't sign up for this. Oh my God, look at the pure terror in that smile and the laugh. It's like, if it was anyone else, that person would be like eviscerated. And if it was Trump, you better believe it would be every single news station would have actually added emphasis or intent there or some kind of story. We got to listen to this again. We got to listen. This is just here. This is just so great. Oh my God, this is so great.
Forget the guy. It's like watching a yo-yo. I shouldn't have said it that way. It's like watching.
Yeah, you shouldn't have said it that way, you perv. Yeah, you probably shouldn't have. But you could pretty much do anything you want. There's nothing you could do or be accused of that Democrats would be like, oh, well, we have to move. Until Madam Secretary says, beat it. And then it's on.
That way. I want to ask you. It's okay.
Of course it's okay. It's Biden. If it was Kavanaugh or Trump, oh my God.
I want to ask you what happens to the Democratic primary. Bernie Sanders is still in the race. You're ahead in the delegate count. What happens to the Democratic nominating contest?
Well, we'll see. I think looks like we'll still have a contest in Wisconsin.
Yeah, we will. People will wait in the rain during the pandemic. All good. Don't expect Fauci or anybody to tell you anything otherwise. No, it's fine. So you have that situation, which is hilarious, and so Kaylee Smith. I know I've mentioned before, but any news on when TDS will be added to the It should be. It really should be. It really should be, because Kaylee, you're 100% right. TDS is actually one way you know it's real is the fact that Biden is anywhere near any campaign. I mean, my God Almighty. This is the most overt charade, and it's actually, I don't think I'm the one with the issue. The rest of humanity is saying, well, obviously Biden, he's the nominee. And I'm like, no, I think I'm the only sane person on the planet, because I'm like, there's no way they go with Biden. This is only a charade. They don't even have a political party. So you're talking about a situation, ladies and gentlemen, where there is no political party. So they have just climate change. The world's going to end, beginning of the end in 11 years, and they've had one major climate bill in a decade. One major climate bill in a decade. That's where the rhetoric does not correlate to the actions of or what they're all about. Then they just recently Bernie Sanders and Biden, they did this whole thing where Bernie Sanders now has basically helped Biden drop like a whole bunch of policy goals, and basically the progressives got nothing because they're always led to slaughter, and willingly and politically, I mean, and they got nothing. And Bernie was like, "I'll fight for you." He's like, you know those attorneys like, "I'll fight for you. Call 1-800." Bernie's like, "I'll fight for you. Call 1-800. Give me $1 so I can give it to Biden so he can give it to Madam Secretary. Okay? It's called 1-800 I was cheated but won't tell anyone. It's called 1-800 Russia stole the election from Hillary, and Putin, if you're listening, I don't want your help. But now they get nothing. I just want to let everybody know I talked to Biden, and there's no Medicare for all or anything else that you want. No defund the police, no nothing. Okay? Now, go ahead and get that voter turnout. Go Democrats! All right, but anyway, so it ends with, but was Clinton a failure? I don't think so. She was an excellent candidate, excellent senator from New York. Okay. I watched her master the intricacies of defense policy during the Bush years. Really? Voting alongside Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld is mastering the intricacies of defense policy. This is why we get into never-ending quagmires and counterinsurgency conflicts and blunders and horrible debacles and life-ruining, just the most tragic, horrendous foreign policy decisions, because you have the smartest, most wonderful, virtuous liberals in the world who don't know what they're talking about. And they just were like, the defense policy intricacies were totally mastered by somebody of her stature. No, there hasn't been a foreign policy decision that ever worked out. So, in Madam Secretary's, in the history, in Madam Secretary's life in politics, there has not been a major decision that worked out. Not a one. Except winning elections up until presidential election. But here, when David Petraeus was asked in 2006, she represented the United States brilliantly as Secretary of State, especially when it came to public diplomacy. Yeah, okay. You mean with the Russian reset button, or with, like I said, the destruction of a country in Libya? She cultivated over the years, or Bush's foreign policies, before that, but she cultivated over the years a smart and dedicated staff. Yeah, who ran her servers. They were fantastic. No insider ever wrote a tell-all about her. Yeah, because they would go to the big house also. The reality of Hillary Clinton was always more traditional, more Methodist than radical, than the trumped-up fantasies about her. No, they're not fantasies. The fantasies are the cover-ups. Oh my God, the crickets are going to work. So it's really unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. Alex, prepare to do the rounds on TV networks. They're going to want to interview you. Watch your subscribers double here when Hillary's nominated. Thank you, Alex. Thank you very, very much, Alex. Thank you. Greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. And you know what? It's going to happen soon. It's just a matter of the charade has to. This is the thing. They're very good, Alex. Thank you so much again for the kind words. Thank you, and for your support. It's going to happen. We just don't know when. And it's really interesting. They're able, the media is able to, within a split second, change their tune, change the narrative. So I remember, we can go back and, you can read articles saying that the data shows. Now, this is different because I was saying the same thing also in 2016. However, he was actually cheated in 2016, so it wasn't fair at all. Now they're saying he wasn't cheated. But they flip from, Bernie is going to be the nominee, to now Biden's going to be the nominee. And it's like they don't even have a process because the pledge delegates are not legally bound. Then nobody understands this. The pledge delegates have every right in the world to go to Hillary. If Biden makes an absurd comment, they can easily go to Hillary just based on that, which he's made absurd comments. Alex, thank you again. Thank you again for the kind words. Greatly appreciated. Angela Goodwin! Tell Keaton AK had a cat, Mr. Stubbs, for mayor for 20 years, and it was more reliable than binarily from now. Sadly, he's gone with Stubbs. Yes. Angela Goodwin, thank you. Angela, thank you very, very, very much. Thank you very, 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 very much. Thank you. Angela, thank you very much. So let's see. I had a cat, Mr. Stubbs, for mayor. I'm like trying to. I was like, I didn't understand. I thought it was like an historical figure. I was like, oh, Arkansas. Let's see, Keaton, Arkansas. Mr. Stubbs for mayor. Nice. And when he was more reliable than nice. Thank you, Angela Goodwin. Thank you, Mr. Falconlam. Hello, Alex. Thank you. Angela Goodwin, thank you. So, let's see. I mean, it's just there's really it's like nothing going on. There's just nothing going on, and everything's at a standstill. Everything's at a standstill. And it's like, I don't think anyone realizes that the you-know-what's about to hit the fan very soon. They're not, just like the DNC spokeswoman stated, they're not officially nominating Joe Biden. I mean, why would you? How could you? This is the biggest charade of all time. It's the biggest charade of all time. But you have President Trump talking about the mail-in ballots, and they don't realize that, like, everybody knows they cheat. Even Bernie Sanders knows. He hasn't said anything about it, but it's like, you look at the mail-in ballots, the potential for, they keep saying, oh well, the potential for fraud or cheating doesn't, a rebuttal to what President Trump is saying, it's not, well, we've done studies and we haven't found any, there's no problem with mail-in ballots. Well, absentee ballots and mail-in ballots are different. You have to register, and you mail it in, and it's the absentee ballot isn't picked up by an operative or, with mail-in ballots. Some states like California allow anyone to pick up a whole, like, boxes and boxes of mail-in ballots, and you have no clue who the person is. There isn't a uniform standard by which every state addresses the mail-in ballots. So you notice that during the midterms, it just so happened that every recount favored Democrats, especially in Florida and California, but especially in Florida. Why is that? You have to ask, well, they cheated Bernie Sanders. You have a South Philly judge of elections that was stuffing ballot boxes. So South Philly judge, this is a South Philly judge of elections, admits he took bribes. Okay? A judge of elections, South Philly judge of elections, admits he took bribes to stuff ballot box for Democratic candidates. This is just a couple weeks back, and this is the Philadelphia Inquirer. So they're like, oh my God, Trump again, Trump. And it's like, well, he knows what you're going to do. You tried to cheat it from, you tried to take it from him last time, and then you blamed Russia for 4 years. Russia had nothing to do with Democrats losing. They can't go with Biden because that's like a non. Aside from that, you have President Trump rightfully saying exactly what they don't want to hear. They don't want to hear that there's a potential for them to cheat because they think that their cheating is just standard. Everyone does it. It's like, no, nobody. Name me a time when the Republican National Committee chairman was forced to resign. I want to know, was there a time that happened? I want to know, was there a time that happened? So, it's like, that never happened before. That never happened before. So it's interesting, like, and then you have like Democrats have continuously done themselves in with competing narratives and competing media spin and competing propaganda. They're like, oh my God, Trump, this pandemic, you're going to combust into flames if you leave the house. Then they're like, oh my God, mail-in ballots. It's like, no. You had your primaries already. And then when they ask, what's his name, do you think we should limit protests? Like, I don't know if I'm not in a position. This man literally told states and the country to shut down economically. You have 30 million people unemployed, but he can't weigh in on, he can't weigh in on protests, it's the First Amendment. Well, yeah, you have a right to work also, to feed your families. You can't have it both ways. You can't say, oh, I'm an authority on, this is what happens when you have very liberal medical doctors weighing in only when it suits the Democratic Party narrative. But then when they're caught within, like, the duplicity, like, also, what do you think of protests? I mean, you think, yeah, I could spread, but, I mean, so we should limit them, right? I mean, working, yeah, you should limit working. No working. But I don't know about protesting. Oh, okay. Yeah, church, bad. Everything that the wonderful liberals can do away with. Yeah, no, come on. You don't need to work. Come on. But it's just so interesting. It's so interesting. The one thing I really enjoy about President Trump is that he just doesn't care. Like, he doesn't care. He doesn't care about, he doesn't care what they think of him. So then they say, well, you know what? He appeals to the base emotions of people and bigotry. And no, he doesn't. He has given more money to historically black colleges and universities, HBCUs, than President Obama during his first 4 years. Trump has given more money during his first 4 years. He signed the First Step Act, prison reform legislation. He signed an executive order combating anti-Semitism on college campuses. So, we had record low unemployment. Everybody remembers this. Helmut Norpoth, the professor at Stony Brook, who called the last election with a model, Trump has a 91% chance of re-election. A 91% chance of re-election. Old school dad, man, thank you. A 91% chance of re-election. Zeke, I am endorsing Donald Trump, but Clinton is going to be nominee for Democrats, and he will defeat Clinton again. But you have a situation where this election hasn't started yet, and it's really going to be a 2-month election. It'll be late August, it'll be September and October, and who knows what they're going to do. They might string this charade out until they might string this charade out. So Centennial of the 19th Amendment. So now you hear, you're starting to get more media attention for the Centennial of the 19th Amendment. And I'm telling you, like, the notion that people don't like the Clintons and on the left, that, oh my God, that they're not going to win, they just can't win. See, that is going to be completely, they're going to change the media spin within a day. Then it'll be, we have to circle the wagons and we have to be loyal Democrats. And you know what? Russia stole the election. We're not going to let this happen. And you have another chance, America. You have another chance to elect the first female president. And you know what? If you don't, then you deserve Trump and you deserve to perish with Trump and the Trumpists for 8 years. It's going to be fantastic. It is going to be absolutely fantastic. I mean, amazing. Krillin 876. Krillin 876. Clinton pays $500 to win. Krillin 876. I can't speak on those things, but look, she has a chance to win because if President Trump falls for any traps, thank God the federal officers are leaving. So it's a good thing the federal officers are leaving. You type in Joe Biden, in addition to the fact that in Florida, the Florida Democratic Party has stated that Biden is suppressing the Hispanic and Latino vote. So now we're going to get Biden, really Clinton's VP pick next week. It's like, this is Hillary Clinton's VP. Biden did not purchase the Steele dossier. Clinton did. Biden is not on The View and Howard Stern and he was on Joy Reid, but it was more of like an obligatory, visit. You have a situation where this is the biggest charade of all time. Look, okay, remember in Iowa when they literally didn't care that an app was cheating Bernie Sanders again? They don't care. They just are like, yeah, we have an app in Iowa. What? But Bernie was winning. Yeah, well, you know what? We have a computer program, and it's actually linked to Clinton campaign officials, former Clinton campaign. What? Former Clinton campaign officials made an app in Iowa. I mean, you can't be more blatant. Well, yeah, and Mayor Pete won. And Bernie second. What? And they didn't bring it up at all. They just tried, like the left, the wonderful, virtuous left, tried to disparage Mayor Pete, which it wasn't his fault. What did he do wrong? He's part of the Democratic Party like Bernie. They said he won, so he won. And they let him know he won prior to anyone else knowing. Krillin 876! HA, what's your favorite Jewish deli menu item? Oh my God, I'm glad you asked. It's a pastrami with rye bread. Very, very good. Oh yes. Pastrami, rye bread, and mustard. Yeah, I like that a lot. Love it. Love pastrami with rye bread. And then you have the, not Dr. Pepper. You have another, you have like this, cherry soda. I forgot who makes it. But it's pretty awesome. Yep, I love it. Krillin 876, thank you. It's definitely pastrami. Pastrami or corned beef, but I usually go with pastrami. But I don't mind corned beef. But I usually go with pastrami. Let's see, which one? You know what? Dr. Brown's. That's what I was looking for. Dr. Brown's. So Dr. Brown has some pretty good colas. Like cherry cola, and it's pretty good. Pretty good. Yes. Krillin876, thank you. Thank you. Oh my god, I'm hungry now. Sarsaparilla. 3G SSF, hello. William Abrams, don't forget the pickle and coleslaw. Oh my god, yes. Oh, I love that. I love that so much. Guess we'll have to wait for that. Not too much outdoor seating in the delis. You can only go to restaurants with outdoor seating because the bad things can get to you. They're flying towards me. So let's see here. Trump. Oh, there was a great thing about Trump today. Oh my God. I was like, wait, what was it? They're like, he's not going to leave. Wait, no. Okay, so first they say he's not going to leave. Then they say he's going to cheat and win. So they're all over the place. There's really nothing, like, basically they're consumed and obsessed with him. They are consumed and obsessed with him. And Trump tomorrow is going to ban that other social media site, which is going to be hilarious. And I don't know how that's going to happen, but But you look at what they're you look at what they're worried about. And it's like, well, Trump won't leave. Trump will cheat and win. They project. That's all they do is project. That is all they do is project. And they keep on saying we're getting closer to an authoritarian regime. Like, based on what? So he's banning a social media app. So what? It's like... So, let's just look right here. This is going to be the MC Breed election, ladies and gentlemen. Ain't no future in your frontin'. And that's something to live by. You know, sometimes you win, sometimes you have to take the L. I've taken the L's. Believe me, I've taken the L. I've taken the losses. I've taken the wins. But, and did it my way. Like, sing some Frank Sinatra for you. But one thing about me, this is why I have such a beautiful viewership. Kaylee Smith! HA, correct me if I'm wrong. Held I never actually conceded the 2016 election. Defined projection. Well, traditional concession, I mean, they say technically she conceded because, Trump is in office. But Kaylee, you're right. It wasn't a traditional concession. Because then, prior to conceding, Clinton and Clinton and the FBI and a whole bunch of it, they utilized the Steele dossier. Well, Clinton purchased the dossier. So that's the issue. And the dossier is not, there's no way Biden's going to be nominee. You can't go through that much trouble and not be nominee again. The whole thing's a charade. Kaylee, thank you. So you're right. She didn't concede. Never really conceded. Their version of concession is set up and frame Trump and then just claim that he worked with Russia. But then they conceded. Kaylee Smith, you're right. Old school dad man, this is what happened this week with the hearings. They're like, this is Jared now. Attorney General Barr, when was it that you decided that you would put the country last? And when was it that you decided that you would rip up the Constitution and throw it into into the trash bin? And when was it decided? When did you decide that you would be Trump's personal attorney? Mr. Nadler, that was never discussed, nor was that ever insinuated or inferred by any of my discussions with the president. And furthermore, I feel a little bit hurt inside that you would make the assumption that I was doing anything that wasn't above board. Old school dad man, Dana 426. When you were on Twitter, I was a fan and followed you to YouTube. Thank you so very much, Dana 426. Thank you, Dana. Thank you very much. That was Twitter for me was not a very fun experience at all, because it was like, well, one, I got a death threat, and that brought me into the Second Amendment, which was great actually. So the Second Amendment part, but Dana 426, thank you so very much. Greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. I'm glad that there are people who remember me fondly on Twitter. I appreciate that, Dana, and I appreciate you watching. Please, Dana, be here, and everybody be here. November 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. The meltdown. First of all, it's like, look, I'm very close to being done trying to help. I will never stop trying to help the Democratic Party, because I've tried to help them. I've explained to them the only way they can possibly win is with Clinton. But they don't listen, that's fine. If they don't listen to me, as usual, and go with the exhumed body that was obviously a charade, I don't know what to tell people. But Dana, thank you so very much. Very, very, very kind of you. And thank you for, following me on Twitter back in the day. Thank you. Climb BMX! As always, thank you to my Canadian viewers and Climb BMX. I work with the public, seeing hundreds of people daily. Every time I mention HRC nominee, nobody doubts it. Yes, Climb BMX. Climb BMX. Thank you. Climb BMX. Thank you so very, very, very much. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's definitely going to happen. It's just a matter of when. We're waiting. But it's going to happen. Kaylee Smith, I reclaim my time. You're so disrespectful. I reclaim my time, sir. That was so great. The questions, though, were just so amazing. The questions were amazing. They were so loaded with, venom. Mr. Barr, when is it that you decided to be the worst person ever in the history of humanity? And when was it that you decided that you would work with Trump to undermine U.S. democracy? And also, when was it decided that you helped Russia and Putin along with Trump and Manafort? Every question was where he was just it was like, you know what it was like? It was like the principal getting getting reprimanded by the students. You just let you know, like, when was it, like, you decided that we had to do all this homework? Climb BMX, thank you. And then Bar would be like, can you give me a list of how many adversaries that I indicted? Can you tell me how many adversaries or political enemies that I indicted? How about Zippo? How about zero and nada? I didn't indict anyone because we're waiting until Trumpy puts the wins again, and you then melt down into a biblical epic proportion. So it was kind of hilarious. The best was Eric Swalwell. Exactly, Jeanette Biden, the inspiration for all exhumed bodies. The best was Eric Swalwell. He was like, well, he was saying something like, just to let you know, Mr. Attorney General, it is illegal, isn't it, to you did say it was illegal for a president and an attorney general to conspire against the American people. Obviously, that would be. So you did. So you admit it. He's like, what? No, I just said you did say it was illegal. Yes, but that's not exact. Okay, so end of story. Thank you. Next question. So, Kaylee Smith, thank you. The United Spot, thank you. Check that out. But I mean, everything is now this. We're in like this slow motion. I mean, this slow motion. Hey, did you see Mike Singletary with President Trump the other day? I love it. I loved it. I loved it. Let's see. It was Mike Singletary and President Trump. Mike Singletary. Love it. Because he played at Baylor. He went to Texas he's been former Bear. Mike Singletary travels with Trump to Texas. So, it's going to be really interesting. Like it's going to be really tough for the next 4 years when he wins again, because he's going to win. Kaylee, exactly. Well, actually, that was Chris Matthews. Kaylee, that was Chris Matthews. But that's just so hilarious. It's so hilarious too. Like all of these Democrats get caught in the most, they get caught all the time. And it's just they get caught all the time with their, caught with their pants down, literally and figuratively. And it's like, it's like the media covers for them all the time. I'm watching this. I'm watching this. Oh my God. This is on Twitter. Let's just look at. Okay, I'm still with her. Let's do it, people. She worked. She suffered for our sins. Was the least we can do. Okay, so Trump has literally done everything people who voted for him claimed they were afraid Hillary would do and then voted for him. No, but let's... No, but that's fine. I'm still with her. Train wreck. Hashtag Trump-Russia collusion. Hashtag treason. It's not treason. We weren't in a war with Russia, but that's another story. It was a Cold War, but not a technical military battle. And we weren't during the election. So, and Trump had nothing to do with Facebook ads anyway. I've had enough with Trump in the White House. I can't even. This person said, this is hilarious. I can't even say what this person said. I will do something in your mouth if you disagree. I'm still with her. Resistance. I think they're being facetious. Hold on. Are they being facetious? I mean, obviously they're being facetious. I don't know whether that's for a left or right vantage point. We should have Hillary Clinton as president. July. Yes, I agree. Yes, I mean, in another alternate universe. They're saying it now. I'm still with her as trending, or popular. It's like every hour there's some I'm still with her. So. Clinton tried to warn us. So here, there's hashtag Hillary warned us. That's a good one too. Hillary warned us. Yes. I love that one. It's all coming together. Compromise, the deals, the loans, the collusion, the cover-ups. Except that he wasn't impeached on any of that. So I guess that they're not telling the truth. No, that's bizarre. They always tell the truth. Hillary warned us. Hillary warned us. Yes. Love it. Oh my God. My conscience is clear. I voted for Hillary. You look, Joe Biden it's really interesting. Like the vice president, if he picks Kamala Harris, he'll be picking a person who literally said that he worked with segregationists and called him out on the issue of race. So I don't understand how they could, because obviously it's going to be for Hillary Clinton, but I don't understand how they could. Well, that would actually probably prove my prediction. They would never go with a person. If he picks Kamala Harris, then that's Hillary. Will be Hillary Clinton right there. Eventually, that's any VP is Clinton's pick. Any VP is Clinton's pick. So Karen Bass, Susan Rice, that would be an interesting one too, because they blamed her for a number of debacles, and she is implicated in the Durham probe. So I don't know how they would pick Susan Rice. Karen Bass could be picked, but I think it would be Kamala Harris or then Val Demings in Florida, but she was a police chief. So I don't know how that... See, the Democrats are all over the place. They're like, yeah, police brutality. Oh, yeah, you're prosecutor, police chief. Okay, so... And the police chief in her police station, Val Demings, had history of excessive force. 1998, Blue Dog! HA, great live stream tonight. Thank you so very much. Thank you. 1998, Blue Dog, thank you very, very much. 98, great year. 98 was a great year. That was a fun year. 1998, that was fun. I just remember I loved it when you didn't have social media. I love the internet, but social media is just so unneeded. You just don't need social media. YouTube is different. YouTube is the video platform, video-based platform Video-based platform is like I don't see any like major when you have a message board, if it's a message board based platform, which is Twitter and Facebook and other platforms that are used for disinformation, you're constantly interacting with people, and the interactions are it basically, if there's a disagreement, it turns into the most vapid waste of time, and it's such a waste of time. You could waste 1 or 2 or 3 hours, and I mean, it's such a waste of time. So, just arguing with somebody. 1998 Blue Dog, thank you very much. It's just such a waste of time. Like, what is the point? What is the point? You write something, and then you're going to get pushback, or you're going to get heat, or you're going to get, somebody telling you, oh, yeah, well, that's not true. And it's like, I don't even know who you are. Why would I care? Why on earth would I care? Then you have, this is a great one. I voted for Hillary Clinton. My conscience is clear. Hillary warned us. That's so great. That's so great. Never forget the many Republicans who stood in defense of a traitor. How is Trump a traitor? Not only did he not commit treason, he never conspired with Russia. This is the most absurd myth. There's zero evidence. What about the Trump Jr. meeting? What about it? He tried to get Clinton's emails. That has nothing to do with national security. Apparently, they were all about yoga. The meltdown's going to be great. If they don't listen to me, it's Biden. Please, the meltdown will be even. But there's no way that Biden wins. Zero way Biden wins. They've convinced themselves they're even in for a bigger disappointment than 2016. Kaylee Smith. Watch the tech giants on Capitol Hill. King Zuck tried to say they don't want to be the arbiters of truth. I'm sick. Of the inaction. The interesting thing is, Kaylee, the tech giants know that Russia didn't interfere in the election. Even the VP of the vice president of Facebook advertising, he basically said, most of the ads were seen after the election. They know. Look, this is what they're all about. They're losing the information battle because Trump has way more presence online than Biden. And Biden isn't even going to be nominee, which is why he hasn't gone on Fox News. There's no presence online. They're just waiting to peak. See, their whole thing is they need a peak right before the election, because media believes, or the Democratic Party believes, and to an extent it's kind of true, that the attention span of the average American when it comes to politics is only about 2 weeks long. Less than that. So they want to go into November 3rd. If you don't vote for Trump, you are a Russian supremacist. You are the worst person. You better not do it. Oh my God, we lost again. So, Kaylee Smith, I think that what they're doing is more of a charade. Like, gosh, really don't want to. We really don't want you to think we don't care. William R. Abrams. My wife thought Joe Biden diddled. Which? William R. Abrams. Yes. Great movie. Could not be made today. No good movie could be made today. this movie is about a hierarchy of really horrible manipulation, and you're promoting this and you're promoting that, and you're in trying to be so different from Trump, they've managed to actually stifle any they've actually managed in their maniacal attempt to be the antithesis of Trump. They've managed to do so many things and to try to erase humor, fun. Is there any fun on the left? Is there any fun or humor? I don't know. I don't think so. Everything is linked to some grandiose political theory that, that makes the person who enjoys whatever, like Blazing Saddles. I mean, you can go, Wendy, we can go on forever. William R. Abrams, thank you. We can go on forever. Love Spaceballs. Love Spaceballs. Who appointed this? They're so. We're about to self-destruct in 15 seconds. Have a nice day. It's just so great. I saw Spaceballs in the theater as a kid for a birthday party, and it was I'm telling you, I still remember. And I don't think this happens nowadays in movie theaters anymore. I just, like clockwork, every 3 minutes, like clockwork, the audience would erupt in laughter. I mean, erupt in laughter. Every 3 minutes. I remember seeing City Slickers years back, like 20 years ago. In the theaters, I remember there was laughter every 3 minutes. You don't get that nowadays. I mean, you just don't get that. You don't get that. You just do not get that. It's like, the good thing about President Trump winning is he's going to single-handedly obliterate a paradigm that was not meant on justice. It was meant on trying to condemn others, but definitely not condemn your political side. It's basically hypocrisy. You can't have a righteous movement that only condemns and doesn't offer empathy. You can't, it's just. All right, let's look at here. There are a couple of. They're going to take Twitter and Facebook down with them. And again, the largest social media the largest social media accounts that are against Trump will see social media in general will see interest decline tremendously. I mean tremendously. Decline tremendously after President Trump wins. Because people will realize that, William R. Abrams III. I've seen a lot of movies on acid at the drive-ins. Drive-ins were great. You know what? I don't think there are any drive-ins in California left. There used to be drive-ins. Like growing up, like it was like a thing of the past, but there would still be drive-ins. I've never been to a drive-in, but like, I don't know. Like, what if you have to go to the bathroom and you're in your car? I guess you can get out of your car with that. I don't know. But what if you have to leave? You're stuck. I mean, how do you, like, if you're like in between a whole bunch of cars, how do you get out? I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting though. It'd probably be an amazing experience, or a great experience. William R. Abrams, thank you. But that type of thing doesn't happen nowadays. Like you hear like you hear these stories, and like, you know, teenagers have always gotten depressed. People have always gotten depressed. People get depressed. Everyone gets depressed. It happens all the time. I just think like there were more connections, more real connections with people, or with like society has changed so much to where there's such an emphasis on a digital world, a cyber world, that I think that it's really detrimental to young people, very detrimental. I think that's why you see this spike in really horrible things taking place. Like everything from bullying to, but who wasn't? But see, the thing is, who wasn't bullied growing up? Everybody was. Everybody at one point. I mean, at one point growing up, it's just, you know, it was handled differently. Even when, 30, 40 years ago, and before that, it was just handled differently. I don't know. I can go on forever. But let's see here. So, if you pick Kamala Harris, then you know that, let's just listen to this here. If he picks Kamala Harris, all Trump has to do is play this. All they have to do is play this clip right here.
Racist, and I agree. I believe you are a racist.
They always say that. With Democrats, they don't believe that a person's a racist, but the Democrats can do racist things. President Trump literally does the opposite of racist things, but Trump is a racist.
And I agree with you when you commit yourself to the importance of finding common ground. But I also believe, and it's personal, and I was actually it was hurtful to hear you.
See, I know, but Biden, you're not a racist though. But it was very hurtful. It's like, wait a second. This is not the standard by which you judge a Republican or conservative. Everything, like the standard always, or the matrix, or the maxims, or the principles, or the value system always changes. So a Democrat is able to do racist things, but not be racist in their heart. A conservative, or Trump has given more money than allocated more funding to historically black colleges and universities than President Obama did during their first 4 years. Signs for the First Step Act, prison reform legislation. We had record low black and Latino unemployment, but Trump is the hardcore racist, and Biden is not because his heart is pure. But listen to this. And he wrote the crime bill.
About the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing.
Look, everything I've done in my career, I ran because of civil rights. I continue to think we have to make fundamental changes in civil rights. And those civil rights, by the way, include not just only African Americans, but the LGBT community.
But Vice President Biden, do you agree today that you were wrong to oppose busing in America then.
No.
Do you agree?
I did not oppose busing in America. What I opposed is busing ordered by the Department of Education. That's what I opposed.
Well,
I
there
did
was
not
a
oppose.
failure of states to integrate
No,
public
but-
schools in America. I was part of the second class to integrate Berkeley, California public schools almost 2 decades after Brown v. Board of Education.
Because your city council made that decision. It was a
So
local
that's where the
decision.
federal government must step
The
in. That's why
federal
we have the
government
Voting
must
Rights
step-
Act and the Civil Rights Act. That's why we need to pass the Equality Act.
Okay, but Biden is not racist. Do you understand? That's the way Democrats work. Everything is political. Every single thing is political. You know? Coin, thank you. Coin boy, thank you. Greatly appreciated. Thank you for that. That's where everything's political. That is where everything is political. So he opposed, this Biden opposed busing, and Kamala Harris is right. I mean, the federal government, if states are not abiding by civil rights laws, the federal government needs to step in. Okay. Eisenhower did that with the 101st Airborne. But she starts off, it's so choreographed. Because the beginning is, I just want to let you know, I don't think you're racist. Oh, okay. Kaylee Smith! Wait, though. What happened to her? I don't know. The only thing I know is that Biden has had Botox and looks like a cadaver that got plastic surgery. Biden looks, Biden's like, come on, man. Come on, yo. Come on, man. What's going on? Hey, you want to push up? Hey, you ever know caucus? Hey there, lady. Ever know caucus? That's what Biden's about. That's what he abolished them. CG3SSF. Biden looks like that. Biden looks like that. Kaylee Smith. General D, hello. That's a great name. Thank you, General D, thank you. Biden looks like, I speak like Clint Eastwood, and, come on, man. You want to do push-ups, man, fat? Hey, fat, come on, fat. What's the matter? Yeah, you want some? You talking to me? Let's do it. Oh, come on, Trump. Want to do push-ups? Biden is so nauseating. He's so weird that even the Grim Reaper is like, you know what? We'll wait. I don't need to go through this now. The reason he's lived so long is because even the Grim Reaper is like, I'm not even going to touch that. Would that get the Botox? Is that going to get on me? No thanks. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Come on, fat. There's just no way that there's no way that this is happening. So, considering that they cheat during their primaries and they cheat any way they can, I have a very hard time believing that Clinton is going to allow. But let's assume for a second. Let's assume for a second that Biden is ruthless. Let's assume for a second that Biden is ruthless and that he wants to become president And there's just no way that anyone's going to try to take things away from him. It's like, you don't think, Madam Secretary, you don't think Clinton's smart enough or ruthless enough or has enough of a presence within the Democratic Party to take it away from him, even if it wasn't all a charade. But they're going to, the way it's going to take place, and they're going to just be like, oh, well, you know what? They are so obsessed with Trump. It's going to be so amazing. I'm watching right now. The way they mock also, the way they go after people and mock them and denigrate them is indicative of not only how petulant they are, but it's like the exact reason they lose presidential elections. Because they don't really stand for anything other than silencing viewpoints. They don't defeat viewpoints. They silence viewpoints they don't like. They definitely don't want to debate anyone that they disagree with. They just go ahead and try to silence viewpoints that they don't like. And that's it. That's it. President Trump is going to win again. And ladies and gentlemen, tell everyone you know, especially to my viewers in other countries, in Canada, and Australia, UK, New Zealand, Nepal, everywhere. Tell everybody you know that I'm going to have live streams, your time, which would be my time in the evening, and uploads, but I don't think that, and this is the thing, I really don't think that they don't understand, they don't have a plan B. They don't have a plan to rebound after they lose to President Trump. They have, because what are they going to do? Let's say they keep the House, then Democrats have the House and Republicans keep the Senate. What are they going to do? Investigate Trump for winning again? What are they going to do? They can't do anything. They won't have the political will to do that because they will have lost again. They can't say that he's an anomaly. They can't say that he traffics in, the worst emotions because Americans didn't vote for President Trump based on, bigotry or prejudice or, racism, or that had nothing to do with why Trump won. President Trump won Wisconsin, a very liberal state that hasn't voted Republican since 1984. He won Michigan and Pennsylvania. They haven't voted Republican since 1988. That's why I started off this live stream with carbon emissions fell to the lowest point in decades in 2019. So, and then in a decade, they only had one major climate change bill that Democrats passed. And then the UN says we have 11 years until climate change is irreversible. So basically 11 years till the beginning of the end for the planet. The rhetoric never correlates. The rhetoric never correlates to, the actions never correlates to the rhetoric. Democrats always engage in not just hyperbole. It's like, they always say the sky is falling, but they never act as if the sky is falling. It's always just to generate as much emotion as possible. Just generate as much emotion as possible. So, And they're going to realize also that they're not the smartest people in the room. You can't peddle the most absurd fantasy. And here's like, they always go like, they do this also with like the Ukraine issue. They're like, well, Giuliani went to Ukraine to investigate Biden. You can't do that. It's like, why not? If Biden did something wrong, he actually stated his own words that he withheld $1 billion. Well, that was for the good of that country. That's not the way things work. You can't simply who gave Biden the authority? He never had the authority to do that. Well, that's not U.S. Our foreign policy is not predicated upon withholding assistance until somebody else is terminated. A foreign official is terminated. And he got exactly what he wanted. And then they got the assistance. But, of course, there's no quid pro quo there. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Rehoboth Farm, hello. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you tomorrow. I have a great segment on H.A. Goodman's other channel, so check that out. And I'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Thank you. Great, fantastic live stream. Thank you so very much, everyone. And I will see you tomorrow. And you know what? I think that I'm going to be doing 2 live streams, one in the daytime and then one in the evening. Wendy, thank you. So I think tomorrow I'll probably do a live stream at around 4 or 5, and then another one at around 9. So I'll do 2 late evening live streams, unless there's something like really important. Then I'll do an upload in the morning. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very, very much. Thank you, everybody. God bless. To my super chat, thank you. Eric, H526, Luke St. Martin, thank you very, very much. Everyone, God bless you. This is the MC Breed election. Ain't no future in your frontin'. The only future Democrats have is frontin'. That's all they do. That's all they do. They cheated Bernie Sanders. They pretended that Trump worked with Russia. I mean, only an imbecile would believe these things. But again, the way they live life is just pretending they're people. They're somebody they're not. Give me your thoughts below. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Check out, you know what? I'll do 2 live streams tomorrow instead of 1. And give me your thoughts. Thank you so very much. Subscribe to